Hello, welcome to the video. This is not my normal style of video, and if I sound different, it's because I'm using my headset instead of my recording microphone, and also I haven't slept for 2 weeks, and I will explain why I have not slept for 2 weeks in this video. So, this video is going to talk about my birthday surprise. I have to tell you about what I saw almost 2 weeks ago outside of my window. So I looked out my window and I saw a kitten in the snow. There's like a building here and like an electrical box here and a snow on top, and there's snow on the ground. And this is the first day that the snow started to melt. A lot of people have experienced a really big snow blizzard a couple weeks ago. Where I live, I also experienced a little blizzard. It's the worst that it's been in 10 years, they said, and we normally don't get this kind of weather. So this is the first day the snow started to melt, and underneath this electrical box thing was this floof ball, and it was the mama cat. And this little chicken nugget nub was right here. He was nursing outside of my window in the snow, and I think this was on Saturday when I saw them. Not just this last Saturday, the Saturday before. And he had to have been born either Friday or Thursday. I don't want to think that he was born Thursday because it was still actually blizzarding on Thursday, and Friday was the first day that the sun came out and it didn't feel like negative 20 degrees, and I just don't think he could have survived the weather on Thursday. So I'm just saying that he was born on Friday. He's the only one, which means that the others didn't survive, so he is the strongest of the litter. So I rescued him. I brought him by our little space heater, which kind of looks like a fireplace. Underneath has like the wires, and then it blows heat out. And my little chicken nugget was right here, getting warm by the fire. I will say, whenever I looked out my window and I saw the cat, I don't know if you guys have seen this penguin movie. I think it's called Pebble and the Penguin. And in that movie, there's this penguin, and he always says, "Oh my goodness, glaciers!" And that's literally what I said when I looked out my window and I saw a little baby kitten in the snow. So I decided to name him Glaciers, with an S at the end. Okay, so Glaciers was doing really good. We got him warm. We were able to feed him. We could not find a bottle anywhere, except for one store had a bottle and one store had formula, and they were both pretty expensive. But there is no amount that I wouldn't pay to save my little Glaciers. So little Glaciers was eating well, sleeping well, but not pooping well. He could not poop. He was so constipated. He would try to poop and he would scream and it would get stuck because it's just way too big for his little tiny self. So I took him to the vet, and I had to stay in curbside, and we bring him in, and the vet says that he's looking really healthy, actually. He probably just needs some more water in his formula to help him push out the poops, to kind of like dilute it. I put some more water in his formula, and he's eating like a lot, which is good, that he has appetite. So I did that, and still didn't make any difference at all. Let's see. This Sunday, still no poops, and he went septic, which means he went really, really sick. He refused to eat anything. Of course, he wasn't pooping. His pees were foggy and yellow, which is bad. And the biggest thing is he would not wake up at all. He was just limp. He was alive, but he was just dying. And this was Sunday night, so the vet's closed. So, of course, I'm trying to feed him every 2 hours. He's rejecting it. So I got a little water dropper, and I would drip just tiny drops of water into his mouth. Most of it would roll out of his mouth, but at least he was still getting some kind of fluids. First thing Monday morning, I called the vet the moment that they opened, and they said to bring him in immediately. So I rushed to the vet, and they did a bunch of tests on him. They checked his glucose level. It was good, but they determined that he does have a bacterial infection, and especially in newborns, it can just hit like so suddenly. And they said that this bacterial infection would explain why he's been so constipated, because those are connected. And they gave him some fluids under the skin, which I was so thankful for. And I did tell him that he was not eating, so I was hoping that they would try to feed him there. But it turns out that they didn't have formula there. They just had like an electrolyte hydrating solution. So they didn't feed him. They gave me some medicine to give him, and they said by the 4th day he should be bouncing back. Okay, so get home with Kitten, and he is still not eating. So I called him again. It's only been like an hour or two to since I left the vet, and I told them he just won't eat. Like, he's still limp like he was before. I did give him the medicine, but I just can't get him to eat. He just spits it out. So they said, come back in and we'll feed him. So we go back to the vet, we bring him in, and it turns out they didn't have the food there, so I actually had to drive home, come back, and then they were able to keep him for the remaining part of the day and feed him every 2 hours. And the way that they were feeding him, they were using a syringe. This is a dropper, but they were using a syringe, and they put the nipple on the end of the syringe and drip it and push it into his mouth. So they were able to feed him a few times, and he was alert and he was meowing. He wasn't really opening his eyes. His eyes were like really sunken into his skull. It made me really sad. Tuesday actually happened to be my birthday. And Glacier's was kind of like my perfect birthday kitten because we found him right before my birthday. So it was like, cool, like maybe we could keep him and that could be my birthday present. He was eating, he wasn't pooping. So we bring him back to the vet. His belly was so bloated, like, ugh. Not like that exaggerated, but he really needed to poop. So we take him to the vet, and they did a procedure, did something that like pushed or pulled, I'm not sure, all of the poopies out of him. And he was so relieved. He was still sick, of course, but wow, he has been constipated since he was born. So being almost 2 weeks old by this point, he must, like, that is such a relief for him. Tuesday night, his eye gets so infected. That'll be one eye. The other eye is like bulging out of his skull. It's red, not like that shade of red, but I'm just using that. And it's oozing, and like his skull, or the swelling around his eye socket was like pushing out. And there's the rest of his face. His eye is like massive, and I just sat there and cried on my birthday because I've been doing everything that I can for this kitten, everything I possibly know how. I'm doing everything right. And he's still getting worse. So the vet's not open Tuesday night. So Wednesday morning, I call the vet as soon as they open. They said that the infection that he has does infect his eyes also. So in a way, I was relieved to know that, like, this infection is all connected. It's not like this is something new. They prepared an eye ointment for him for me to go pick up. I didn't need to bring him in, so that was good that he didn't have to experience another car ride. So we get this tiny little tube of ointment, and you rub it in his eyes twice a day. And within a few hours, his eye was doing so much better. It wasn't red, and it was hardly oozing, and the swelling went down a lot, but his eyeball was still enlarged. Oh yeah, so an important thing that I forgot to mention, when we brought him to the vet the second time after he went limp and he wouldn't wake up, the vet did tell me that he may not make it. We would have to try really hard and work really hard and do our best to get him over this hurdle, and if we can get him over this hurdle, then maybe he'll survive. But it was really looking like he wasn't going to make it, and still, even at this point, we still don't know if he's going to make it completely, but I think he is doing a lot better. I think he's in a lot better shape than he was before. I think he does have a good chance of surviving. I can't stand him being sick, and if he gets sick again, his poor little body and his little immune system. So they said that it's not uncommon for babies this small to get sick. He's getting fussy when he eats, which is good. He is more alert. He can meow. Today, he took his first steps, actually. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye. This is the very first picture that I took of him. This is right after I grabbed him from outside in the snow. His ears were closed, his eyes were closed. He still had his umbilical cord. And this was him the next day. You can see his little umbilical cord here. Look at him. And you can see his belly is very round. He's very constipated. He likes to roll on his back and have you tickle his tummy and play with his paws. When he opened his eyes, they're kind of blue. And when my husband saw them for the first time, he said they're the most beautiful eyes he's ever seen. And they look like little diamonds. Look at him. So cute. And his ears would like twitch a little when he would hear sounds. And this was him, I think, yesterday or the day before, just laying sick in his little blanket. Oh, look at baby, he wants to play. Oh, he's so cute. You may think that he's like trying to struggle to get on his stomach again, but he'll go back to this position for a little bit, and when he's done playing, then he'll turn around and go to sleep. So yeah, I worried about that too, but he seemed fine. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. So that brings me to what I've been working on this morning. His medical costs were a lot. The vet did charge very fair prices, and I was surprised on how low they were. Normally, every time you walk into a vet's office, they'll charge you $125 just for being there, just for walking through the door. But they didn't do that here. They just charged for their services, and because I went to the vet so many times and they had to do so much, so I put up this GoFundMe for baby glaciers. And I put a very detailed description of his story. Typing it, I was able to focus more, and when I'm speaking, being very sleep deprived, I don't always get the story in the correct order, but this is in the correct order with more details. If you'd like to help with Glacier's recovery, I would be super thankful for any donation that you can make, or even if you just share the story. I think he has a special story, and I hope that his future he'll have a happier story. We'll have happier stories to tell. But I did want to say thank you to the vets that were taking care of him and the staff in that office. They did an outstanding job. They really care about the animals, and they want to do their best to help every life. They did a great job, and I'm so thankful for them. So I want to do everything that I can to help Glaciers, and I want to give him the best chance that he can. The link will be in the description for the GoFundMe page, and if you could just share it and share this video, we'd really appreciate that. This is not the video I was supposed to be uploading next, but this is just what I've been dealing with lately. I think he's really important. His life is really important. I am working on the next animation. I have not been working on it for the last 2 weeks because of him, but I will be finishing it. I'm also starting a new YouTube channel that won't be animation related per se. I think it'll be more like when you think of a YouTuber, they're just like in their room making videos, but there's going to be a twist to the channel, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll keep you updated on when that channel will be up and when the first video is up. If you check out my Instagram account, iamhappinese. I do have another Instagram account for the new channel. It's called Rubamar. The new channel will also be great too. It's just I feel bad for the animation channel. I've had it for 2 years and I don't have a lot of content, and so I just wanted to make another channel that I was able to push out more content with, like while I'm still working on the animations. So the iamhappinese account will be pretty much just animations, so my other account will be everything else that I want to do. So yeah, let's save baby glaciers together, and we'll see you next time. Bye!